This is no, this is
what Johnny
asked that it be amended to the ordinances as far as the fire department's concerned.
Oh, okay, no problem. You've still got a minute and a half or two.
Another book.
To be approved, because the last meeting was started with Board of Works and then we had a work session, so there are really no minutes. All right, then everything for some. Do we know all these people?
No.
What? Who you want?
Pull Mel's mic down. Mel's microphone.
Oh.
Turn it down.
Oh, okay. I guess, dear. What?
You got your mic.
Oh, okay. Teresa said go ahead and start.
Ready?
Yeah.
Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Excuse me. Member Jane Pope.
Present.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner.
Present.
Member Mike Lawrence.
Here.
Member Doug Taylor.
Here.
Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis.
Here.
Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements? Hearing no orders, no minutes to last meeting. Committee reports. New business. Maria Rosa, waive fees for Ragnar Hall.
She.
Hold on,
Wait a
sorry.
minute. She won't be here, right, Teresa?
No, she had to take her son to, two of her kids had to have, like, tubes put in their ears and stuff. But this is in regards to, I don't know how many of you are aware of the whole situation with the home builder dates and her dates.
Probably not.
So she, the home builders always uses it the third weekend of March, but they moved it back without letting us know, which we ended up booking those dates. So she graciously switched her dates around so the home builders could have theirs. So she's actually wanting to use the 27th through the 31st, and the deposit's put in place, and it's for her art foundation, and she's just asking for the fees to be waived for that.
Anything on the board?
I make a motion that we waive the fees for Maria.
Get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Holly Stoops, Young Professionals of Denver County.
My name is actually Amanda
You're not
Eubank.
Holly Stoops.
I know, I'm here as representative instead. I changed. Ta-da!
No, that's okay, Amanda.
I'm here as a fill-in, but my name is Amanda Eubank, and I'm here to request the we're doing a 5K for AIM, Young Professionals, which stands for Achieve, Inspire, and Mentor. If anybody has any questions about it, we do have a website, and Mike Perleberg is also one of our board members. But currently we're trying to host a 5K on the Lawrenceburg Trail, with your permission, on May 11th from 7:30 to 11 a.m. And then we'd also like to thank you for last year's sponsorship of $500, and we'd also like to request that again for this year.
Anything on the board?
I don't have the trail book with me. I didn't realize what this was for, so I can run over in between meetings to see if that's available, because there is already some bookings. So as long as it's open, then.
Just so we don't have another problem.
I just don't want something else to be booked,
Sure.
and but.
What was those hours?
It was from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. And we'd also wonder, are we able to use the garage for parking because of the construction?
It's going to be on a Saturday?
It's on a Saturday, yes, Saturday morning.
I don't see why not. Do you, Mario?
No, to be open. Are you asking for the fees to be waived?
If that would be a possibility, that'd be wonderful.
Right, because usually, me and Mario have done this before with people that's used it, and there's some kind of pass that they can type up that
Right.
the city validates, and they just show that we're here for the walk, so that way they don't have to pay the fees. That's what you're asking.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
What's the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion that we allow them to use the garage and the trail as long as, I assume there's nothing else booked.
Your second?
Second.
All in favor?
I'm going to amend that and add a $500 donation to that.
All right, Mike, amend your motion.
Yeah, I didn't know if we'd want to do that through the parks or council.
Well, we can wait and do it through council if that's what you want to do.
If you want to
Well,
stay, and then I'll run. and
Jackie,
check the
do we
dates
have-
as well.
The money in the parks fund for,
No,
okay.
it has to either be council donations or city marketing, without, just off the top of my head.
So we need to do it in council.
Yeah, well, you could approve it here and then send it to council.
Okay, and I'll add with a recommendation to the council for a $500 donation.
You have a
Okay.
second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Against? Ayes have it.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Refuge. Benefit for Jason Seldette.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Etheridge. I want to thank you for giving me the time to speak in front of you this evening. I'm here to ask that any fees for Agner Hall be waived for the date we've taken for Agner Hall. It's Saturday, April 13th, 2013. We are having a benefit for a young sprint car driver down at the Berg. And really, I'm asking that any fees be waived because Lawrenceburg has been such a large part of our family for so long, going back to our grandfather, who was very into the racing scene. Jason, he is actually my cousin. He was diagnosed with a bone marrow disease known as myelodysplastic syndrome in 2010, and just recently he was diagnosed with leukemia. He has obviously taken off for his medical condition for this year in racing, but he currently is at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. He's expected to be in the hospital for the rest of the year, so that's why we're having the benefit for him in his name.
And everything has been set up,
Book the
scheduled?
date and have the deposits put in place because we do ask that they put down 100 to hold the date, so everything is in place for that.
Well, with him being a Lawrenceburg weekly racer that's going through a major ordeal here, him and his family, I'd make a motion that we'd waive the fees.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Paula Bruner, use the parking garage for NEDA walk.
Good afternoon or evening. I'm Paula Bruner with the Dearborn County Eating Disorder Resource Team and also the National Eating Disorder Association. And each year, the past 3 years, we've had a walk down on the Dearborn trails, and we'd like to have our third walk this year. The National Eating Disorder Association has actually asked us to rename it the Greater Cincinnati Need a Walk because there is none other in the area, and so they're hoping to draw a lot of people from Cincinnati to the area too. So we're asking for use of the trail, which we've already discussed for a date, and we're also asking for use of the garage.
When is that?
It's September 7th, Saturday, September 7th, from 9:30 till noon.
Here's the trail open.
I believe me and Paula have already discussed and have the date in place, but I'll run over and show.
Yeah, after this
but
meeting, she'll
we've
run
already
and get the
spoke
bill.
about this. Paula, me and Mario's helped a lot in the past. Mario did a lot of work last year for this, him and Casey McCool.
What's the board's pleasure?
Make a motion to approve the request.
Your second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Parking garage too,
Yeah,
same.
That was
That's what her
just
request
for
was
the use
for,
of the
right?
parking garage.
Okay, I was just making sure that was in
And
the
the-
motion too.
The trail, I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay.
Jenna Baumgartner, Ivy Tech 5K walk and run. Don't mind walking. Keep getting in shape.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hello, another 5K. I'm Jenna Baumgartner representing Ivy Tech's PTK. It's an honor society and we'd like to have a 5K on Saturday, April the 13th at 2013. We'd like to use the trail. We'll start down at the bell tower and go west toward Aurora, turning around right after the Tanner Creek Bridge and coming back.
Have you spoke with our office?
Yes, we spoke with the office and we turned in a certificate of liability
Okay.
insurance
Right.
and
Is this available to the public too, or just the students, or?
it's available to the public, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, what was the date?
April 13th, Saturday. It starts at 8:30 a.m.
Anything on the board?
I'll make a motion to approve the date that she's given as far as, you're going to be using the parking garage as well too, correct?
Yes, we have validation stamps
Okay,
since
that's
it's
Ivy.
Ivy Tech, so
Okay.
we won't need anything for that.
Okay.
Have a motion, here a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jonathan Bowman, free military PT program.
Hi, how you doing today? My name is Jonathan Ballmer. I am a prior U.S. Navy soldier. I'm looking to give back to the community by trying to get the kids out there exercising this summer. 3 times a week, 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning. And any adults that are wanting to come out and do it too. Typical exercises, jumping jacks, all that. Any kids that do come out, sign up and do come out, will be required to sign a waiver. But I also, if I get approved, I will be going to get sponsorship so that there'll be prizes to raffle off for the kids that do show up. So,
Anything on the board?
Where is this being held at?
I was trying to get permission for the Lawrenceburg Park down there by the skate park.
What's the dates?
It's during the kids' summer break.
It'll be so many times a week,
Like in the,
Teresa,
like,
all
June,
summer.
July, I guess?
Yes,
Okay.
3 times a week for their summer break.
Would you meet at the shelter? One of the shelters in the park, or where would you meet at?
Meet out in the grass. It's just to do out in the grass, just jumping jacks and stuff like that. Nothing real big. There's any money that's put into it is either sponsored money or out of my pocket.
What's the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion, we allow them to use the park for this program.
Here a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mario Todd, Memorial Design.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
In your packet, you'll see a design that the staff came up with here in the last.
Is that the one with the pretty trees on it? Is that the one with the pretty trees on it?
That would be it.
Because there's nothing on here that says what it is that I could see.
That's what I'm for.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I'll put myself out of a job, Jackie.
No.
But, and I'm going to plug in here, you'll see a little better than our drawing, I hope. I'll let this play out, Jackie, so you can ask questions later.
No, I don't have any. I'll ask you when you get back.
Please?
I know it was. That's okay. He's got all the paperwork for tomorrow, too. You've got the credit card. He's got the paperwork.
Good.
Yeah. Cheryl out there.
There's no sound or volume to it, so I'll do the voiceover. The location is at Todd Creech Park, next to the Little League field, which was the Babe Ruth field. The stamped concrete's already in place. What we're going to place there is the 6 cut stone monuments plus the granite, which that's the granite monument in the front there. And for the audience, this is to recognize some of the people that's been with the city, has passed away, and had a big impact on our park system.
What kind of price tag?
We've got a budget, we'd like to say under $12,000 on it.
Nice.
Is that all for the landscaping and everything? 'Cause that sounds
Correct.
low.
Correct. Again, some of the features are already there. Some of the bigger trees, Doug, you probably well know, are in place already.
Who's each of the people that?
It's Denny Lewis, Luther Todd, Jim Creech, Jerry Hawkins, and I'm missing one. Pat O'Neill.
Pat O'Neill.
And there's room underneath. Mike, we have, like, say, 6 of the standing right now, but they're designed where we put 6 more underneath as far as the plaques. We should be going out for quotes hopefully by end of this week, first of next week. Any questions?
With the plaques, is that like picture?
They are a photo plaque similar to what we have some of the other parks.
Okay.
Any feedback, likes, dislikes, comments?
Looking at it, I thought it might be a little more expensive, but
we can jazz it up a little bit if you like, but that was our budget that we agreed to, was 12. So we're going to try and don't get me wrong, 12 is...
Looks like nicer than your drawing.
Okay, Mike, thank you. 12 is the outsourced budget. I mean, there's some things we'll do in-house ourselves, though. Anything else, Your Honor? Are there questions?
No. What's the board's feeling?
I'll make a motion to proceed with the memorial.
I'll second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you, that's all I had.
When's it going out for a quote?
End of this week, first of next week.
Maura, can you email it to me?
Sure. Sure.
You want to share?
They brought it up last week. Wasn't brought up in the business law.
Right. Amy Palmer for the indoor facility.
Hello. Thanks for letting me come this evening. I am here on behalf of myself and some of the other parents that have gymnasts in the area. Both my daughters compete. And I'm here to propose if there's a possibility to have an indoor gym possibly added to the already proposed sports complex, the indoor soccer concept that's already been proposed previously. To see if basically kind of have it mimic the Be Active gym in Batesville. If you guys are familiar, if anybody's familiar with that at all, they have an indoor soccer, and then, I mean, they have a huge gymnasium type place where they've got recreational and competition gymnastics, and they've got indoor soccer fields. They have a place where they have birthday parties. It's a pretty big concept out there, which I think would go really well in this area for the amount of people that drive different places for indoor sports. And we're just asking for possibility to bring a gym and have that part of that area. Because currently where the competition and recreational gymnastics is being done in Aurora at the Gymnarium, and the facility is old, very outdated. The equipment's old, outdated. Some of it's not safe. And there doesn't seem to be any owner concern that this isn't going to go anywhere for some of the gymnasts that are looking to, go a higher level, and you can't go higher levels where they are right now because they can't do that because the equipment's not there. So, I mean, for my daughter personally, as far as like she's thinking collegiate gymnastics and I mean, I'd have to drive to Cincinnati. And there's a lot of other moms and other gymnasts there now. There's 14 on the competition team. And at the gymnasium itself, there's over 100 girls and boys that do either recreational or the competition gymnastics there. So I really feel like it's a need in this area. Plus, it can be, a place of employment for younger kids, high school kids that want to work there, concessions, that type of deal also. So, and I mean, like I said, I know as far as the indoor complex is kind of already being thought of, and so that was kind of our proposal to kind of see if we could kind of get in there and see if that would be something that would work.
Can I ask a couple questions? How much ceiling height would gymnastics need?
Where they are now, it's the old gym, Aurora Elementary Gym. So, I mean, you don't need that high of a gymnasium type ceiling, but I would probably say about 20, maybe.
How about footage-wise?
Square foot, I'd say I would, because the equipment, the main part of the equipment would be the floor, the gymnastics floor, the spring floor. And that is roughly, gosh, I don't even know, I'm not sure what the dimensions would be, but it would be basic layout. Where we are now, the room is fine. The equipment and all of that is what the concern is. And that's based on a gymnasium floor where it's not ideal either as far as padding and that type of thing. I can get back with you though on all the dimensions. One of the coaches and moms was supposed to be with me tonight because she had all that, but I didn't have that.
I was just curious.
I know, just FYI, I know there's a few people that are actually looking into like cost, checking out the feasibility as usage and things like that, that they're actually going to be coming to redevelopment, I think, in a month or two, just to gauge interest, city interest.
Yeah.
But before they put up any cost, and that kind of thing. So just FYI,
Okay.
they're local.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you could get some numbers or whatever, we can make sure she can call them and see.
Yeah,
because we actually had thought before, I actually had talked to Leslie about it, and that an indoor sports complex had been proposed already. We were kind of going to think about coming to the city about, having just a gym itself, not a part of anything else. But when I heard that was possibly going to happen, and that was a great thing for me, because then it would be something that we wouldn't have to open and run ourselves. So.
Any more from board? I'll take it under advisement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more old business?
That's not old, you go to old.
It was old.
That was old.
Oh, it was, okay. I see, I'm sorry.
Review and discuss claims board approval.
Mayor, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I went and grabbed the book, so I just wanted to, Amanda, you wanted May 11th, 7:30 to 11 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
That date is opened, so they're good there. The NADA walk on 9/7, we already had that booked, and you said your hours were from 9:30 to 12, correct? And there is the Alzheimer's levy walk the following week, which is September 14th, and then the Ivy Tech walk, you said it was April 13th?
Right.
Okay, if, that's what you guys
That's what it
said,
was,
right?
yeah.
April 13th, okay. That's, I didn't have it in the book, but it's open, so all them dates would be good.
Okay.
So, Amanda, can I get your phone number?
Everybody want it?
I'm just saying not right now, like after the meeting, because I already have Paula's. So before you sneak out, then I'll give you my contact information and stuff. But
We're going to put it on the bathroom wall, Amanda.
Don't tell them about our high school days.
Is that all the old business you got, Teresa?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Review and discuss claims for board approval.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Board works 5 minutes.
AIM. Want to do it?
I'm going to do it.
You're into that stuff, aren't you?
I'm going
Teresa, I've got a, where'd she go? Back there, okay.
Ran at.
Teresa, I've got an email from Mark Brady, okay. That's fine, you can, that's okay. Yeah, I'll let you know tomorrow.
Good to see you.
Yeah, with the green on the front, yes, sir. Thank you.
No, you're going to walk.
Right.
No, I don't like it. Some people I'm going to go up the road that and it's parking.
There is an email.
One the other man.
That way, go down and all that stuff. Because I know there's like folks that probably need to go down and things like that.
They said, that's what Mike told me. Well, they said that instead of ice, we're supposed to just have rain.
What was that, Amanda?
And Lafayette up north, that was supposed to get 5 to 7 inches, they're not gonna get that much, they're gonna get snow and that, but not that much. Because I got 3 guys going to Lafayette tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been too cold.
Oh, really? Well, see, they're a little bit further north than we are, so that, that happens sometimes. Yeah.
It should be
Hopefully
fine.
not
They're
too
not
bad.
going to interfere with that.
Hi! I know, it's been a long time. How are you? Good to see you. Hi! Yes, yes. Yeah. Oh, nice to see you.
But it's all on the website.
Yeah, I was somewhere, because I came back to the car, she had my nephew's little girl, baby, whatever you want to call her, and I came back to the car and she said, you had some woman here looking for you, and I said, okay, and she told me your name, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I told him, yeah. Nice to see you.
Oh, this
Yes.
is all for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. I didn't see
I had 2 of them.
Furniture? Now, see, I heard some stories about furniture. I mean,
Years ago.
I was going to say, I heard that it was smaller, some was smaller than what the other one.
The guy in the beige sweater with the glasses. He used to play softball years ago. I used to be at all the games.
I heard one quote.
I didn't know anything about it. I didn't have anything
I
about
just heard about it.
on here, but
They're here.
I like this one. This is all right.
Doug's
This must be mine.
it looks nice.
Sure.
I like it. I was trying to figure out how
Sorry, I didn't know you were right in. My bad.
They have those little bars come out the end of it. The metal, like these, you can kind of see protruding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. It's pretty cool. So if there was more business all the way down the city, I wouldn't hear it.
Break it. Right. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Who else says Donnie?
What else going on here? Very too much. Hello there.
How's Jackie today?
Oh, I'm okay. How are you?
Good,
What?
Expected out zero term Exmoor.
Yeah.
Bunch of other trucks.
No, which one? Just, oh.
Wow. They will get tomorrow drink from the he didn't expect him to make a copy of the disc or let me just email
Then why did he get a quote? Oh. Well, how much is this one?
Mario, this is you.
Oh, that's a cheaper one anyway.
Is she?
This is, oh.
Good, that's
John Deere, okay. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't, I'd just read the ones that were actually spec. No, that's on the mowers for the Parks Department. Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Dennis said he didn't have one of his, but I had one.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that she's.
Oh.
Who drew those? Mario, did you draw those?
Little pics.
Johnny's not here.
That's awesome.
Rob
Well,
is,
I appreciate
okay.
it. Well, take care of her.
Thank you.
And you saw all that
Awesome.
stuff.
Well, take care of her. Thanks.
And then that's all here. Yes. I'll talk later. Thanks.
Hey, did you guys call me back?
I think Suzanne.
Everybody ready?
Apologize.
Guys ready? Board Works meeting to order?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Donnie Bryant.
Present.
Member Mario Todd.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner.
Present.
Police Chief Gene Hunnefeld. Here. Assistant Fire Chief Rob Schutte. Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
I'm sorry, EMS Director Bobby Mills. Utility Director Mel Davis.
Here.
Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements? Hearing none, approved minutes of previous meeting?
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Who did the second down there? Okay, thanks, Bill.
Committee reports. Fire Department Chief John Tremaine. Rob.
Here tonight. We've had a total of 44 calls for the month of February. 25 which were fire related, 10 which were medical initial patient contact, 9 which was EMS. So 44 total for the month of February. Also, the fire department gave you a packet. We got some new updated pictures of our new rescue engine, where it sits now on the line right now in Ocala, Florida. So there's some pictures on that you guys can look at. And then we'd also like to have a couple bids here for a new elliptical machine for our weight room. One we have now is getting highly used, and a lot of people waiting around. So it's a pretty good piece of equipment. Everybody seems to like it a lot. So I have 2 bids here. The first bid is the lowest bidder that I have is from BGI Fitness in Indianapolis.
What was the name again?
BGI Fitness.
Okay, thank you.
They come in at $2,707.26. And my second quote is for exercise and leisure out of Island Avenue, Ohio, $3,199.
199?
$3,199.
Okay, thanks. Sorry.
You have this in your budget?
Yeah, they have money.
Anything with board?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have the same system up there right now, so it's held up for 2008. It's a good system. It just gets
Any question, board? Entertain a motion?
Turning the motion, we go with the lower bid, BGI Fitness, for $2,707.
For a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
now it's 2707.26.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Any more, Robbie?
At the last meeting, Johnny did bring a request I believe he brought it under committee reports, to amend the inspections and notices portion of the fire department ordinance. So we can bring that up under old business, but just wanted to make sure, I did give a copy to Rob, and just so you know. Yes, it will be. But I just want to let the Board of Works know that, it's something that it's going to be brought up under the old business on the council.
Thank you. Police Chief Gene Hunnefeld.
Thanks, Mayor. Just one topic of interest. Hopefully the board has seen the new speed sign trailer that we got in a couple of weeks ago. We've been placing out on US 50. When you noticed it, you were traveling at or below the posted. But just FYI, that speed trailer sign can also be used as an information board. Computerized, and we can put accident ahead or road closed, or so it's a nice upgrade.
Very good.
Nothing further, Mayor.
Thank you. EMS Director Bobby Mills.
I have no report on
New business, Pat Carter Main Street sign.
Like that.
Yes, I was here, I guess it was at the end of last year, and we discussed the issue that people have difficulty finding downtown, or going by on US 50, they don't realize we have a whole business district down here. And one of the possible locations for signage, obviously, is a solution for that. And one of the possible locations that I brought up at that time was were the underpasses that are at the corner of US 50 and Walnut. I was advised by Mike Clark that did not need to go before planning and zoning. That needed to come to the city, that particular placement. So you should have in your packets some photographs of the proposed sign. The top one show it would be a two-sided aluminum sign. The top one shows what it would look like if you were traveling east on US 50. The bottom one is a rendition of what it would look like if you're traveling west. So it kind of gives, it's very nice. I think it would help identify the downtown. It's in keeping with the design of the underpass. The one thing that is not showing on here, and Mel, we'd probably want to discuss this with you. There is some electric there, and we would probably need a few spotlights that might shine on it during evening hours. But that's our proposal. It's very simple, but we think very tasteful, and certainly I think would help the downtown an awful lot. Are there any questions?
I've shared it to several people, and everybody seems to like it.
Okay. It really fits in with the city's large, electronic sign too, so.
Now, this would take the place of I believe the signs you were talking about before that you were having issues with?
What the state, I think, is referring to.
Or not?
I still keep trying with the state, and I still, I have tried for well over a year with them. They keep telling us we're getting them.
Well, they did place a blank sign up there. I don't know if you've noticed it or not. The blue sign, if you're headed eastbound. Is that your?
I have not a clue.
But weren't those the signs that
Mario
were talking a fee? Wasn't there some kind of fee also, like maintenance fee and things like that? Yeah, that was
a yearly maintenance fee with it.
Right.
There, as you can see, if that blue sign is supposed to be ours, they haven't advised us. They haven't put anything on it. I've got not a clue about it, but you can see it's not very large. And if you go through that intersection and look between the signs for the courthouse and visitor and tourism and everything else, that little blue sign isn't going to do much for us. So this one, we think has definitely a bigger impact for everyone.
Our clerk treasurer asked, who's paying for this?
No, I just want to know how much it costs, that's all.
The quote, this is without any electric lighting, is $2,838. It's one double-sided sign. And Main Street would be taking care of that.
No, I just wondered if I was going to have to find money.
No, you don't have to find money on
Thank
this.
you, Pat.
We're just coming looking for permission.
Yeah.
Anything else on the board?
no.
I'd so move to go
Nice.
forward with it.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Ayes have it.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. The merchants appreciate it.
Myself, equipment quotes for the park for new mowers. They're looking for two of them.
Two of them.
Well,
They have money?
Yes, they do have money. It's budgeted money.
Okay. Just asking.
One quote they had in for the X-Mark 72 cut, it was $10,466.56. The other one was all-terrain tractor, less deck. It's for the smaller mower. It's the X534 multi-train tractor. That was $7,375.77. That's all from Bud Herbert. Zimmer put in a quote. He had several in here for several different tractors. I'll read them all off. One was a Skag Turf Tiger. It's $12,499. One was a Skag Turf Tiger. The 29 horse was $12,099. One was a Skag Cheetah. It was a 31 horse, 11,999. That was a Skag Turf Tiger, the 72-inch cut. It was 13,999. You also had quotes Simmer did for X-Mark Laser XZ, 12,500. X-Mark Laser XZ with a 72-inch cut, 38-inch horse was $13,999. X-Mark Laser ZS, 29 horse gas was $11,399. The X-Mark Laser ZS was 29 horse was $11,899. I do believe Bud Herbert had the cheapest bid at $10,466.56, and he didn't quote anything for the smaller tractor. That was Bud Herbert's $7,376.77. Anything for the board?
I'm kind of a little lost. Are these all the same?
I think two are comparable.
Size? Well, what they spec was the X-Mark, and the other bidder put in what type of tractor he sold. Zimmer did. They got X-Marks now, that's what they put in for.
Right. But they're all similar.
Similar, right.
Well, at least two of them are anyway. Correct. Of the Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, I'd so move to go with the lowest quote.
On both of them?
Yeah.
Your second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
For Bud Hubert, right?
Bud Hubert.
Yeah.
There's two.
Right.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it. Thank you. Mario Todd, HR Furniture.
Your Honor, I'd like to table that this time.
Okay. Have any old business? Hearing none, review and discuss claims, board approval.
Move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No, not this year.
No, you got
No.
utilities, dear.
Go to board in 5 minutes.
I know.
Good luck.
He does that all the time, and we're still here till 8 o'clock.
Keep him straight, Jackie.
Well, that's not my fault.
Grant, what's your view on this? Yeah. Isn't it supposed to go to the grant committee anyway? And that's where it comes from.
Yeah, I just amended down. Withdrew the resolution.
Satch.
Right.
What do you want to pick on those? What do you want to pick?
Well, we built those two.
Okay, feature full
It's first capital. We use that place for
Utility.
I was gonna ask if.
You recognize him after I told you to leave? Hey, lady.
Deny the claim out of here.
Recognize him after I told you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna sign it until I see where it goes.
Well, we already.
Maybe take a brother.
We got two pavilions.
And they have to.
I heard that.
Oh, hi.
How many want 8?
No problem. Oh, no problem. Thanks. Sorry. In between meetings.
That's the city, that's out of said you were questioning things again, which since we got them rolled over, I could finally start sending them over, but I have to go through because a lot of the MDF line items changed. Like the 100 accounts, I don't know why they changed them numbers, but I have to go through and manually edit a bunch of that stuff before I can post up, so.
Bring it up. Okay. Bring it up in council too. I mean, that's a highly used product.
As, yeah, might as well.
Hey, Mayor. Hey.
Is this Mike's stuff still? Yes. Okay. I don't want to put the wrong stuff.
I'll bring it up.
A lot of it's just junk.
I don't have a problem. He's doing something now, he might as well go get him on where he's going. We'll see Mike. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh, they're nice shape. Well, I can't carry them well, they're heavy. They're durable. You're looking probably about $12. We made some big deal. They're durable. They're definitely durable. Okay. I'll bring it up there, but I'm sure that's very well.
So this would be how it would look. It would just mount on top of this existing structure, and that's going east. And then if you were going west, you would see the back side, the double side. It fits in with everything pretty nicely.
There's a radio behind you.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I didn't get it, you did.
Okay. I know, I was like, hey, what's up? You were checking your door.
I just opened it up.
Yeah.
Somebody waited for it.
We have a little doggy door. They're good. You come home.
That was addressed to me. Something that was addressed to me.
What?
Oh, just make them.
I'll make copies?
Give everybody.
Okay.
Oh, what was it for?
It was a
Thank you
little
note?
letter.
Oh, okay, letter.
It was about the, it's actually about the repealing that grant.
You got much in
Oh, I didn't get one of those, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who laid it there.
Oh, I don't know either.
Maybe it was Teresa.
Oh, Teresa probably, it probably came in the office guy that she put in the box. Okay. I was gonna say, I don't know, but yeah, that would be it. Let's see.
All back in the old days. Yeah. And then they wouldn't even get anything resolved.
2 to 3 inches.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, they're saying up north 3 to 5.
Yeah.
The northern part of Dearborn County.
Okay.
Around 74.
I left a message.
Hopefully it all stays like that.
Just have to go back to where I'm working.
North border on
Then you can always
because we're in a winter advisory and so in that area. Yeah. You're saying 3 to 5 inches of water.
That was the issue.
Yeah, that was probably
All stay in place and don't jump out in front of it. Oh, the barn.
condemned house.
Poles will stay in place. Just, oh, yeah.
Teresa laid it there, yes, I just opened it.
I'll be back in a minute. Teresa, did you leave that little envelope down here for Mike?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
your mail. I'm sorry. I was like, I thought it said your name on it. Well, sometimes if it says like Lawrenceburg City.
Okay.
And I'll like the land, which I guess we don't like to put. I mean, sometimes it could just be like a flyer, you know, which I'm supposed to copy and do all that, but that's why sometimes you might see just, you know.
Yeah,
Which I can make copies, but
Aaron's
I was like,
making copies.
Okay, I was like, what the name on it?
Yeah, I was just trying to, I just wanted to make sure you left it there.
That was,
And I can either resolve though. I can stick it to a meeting if you're really hammering down on an issue, get it resolved.
They would either have to go to commissioners or go to, what's your name? See what her 2 cents were.
It was like a volleyball. Their grandson, their grandson's 7 months old. He'd been down there for a week. And finally, at the end of the conversation, he said,
All right. All right, so
Al would give you
finally, at the end of the conversation, he said, I'm tagging.
Okay.
Thank you, dear.
How about ready?
Color now?
He said,
they couldn't get anybody to do that job.
Aaron, you ready to go?
Yeah. He said, well,
Call utility board meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Excuse me, Member Jane Pope?
Present.
Member Aaron Cook?
Here.
Member Bill Bruner?
Present.
Member Mike Lawrence?
Here.
Member Doug Taylor?
Here.
Attorney Leslie Votaw?
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis?
Here.
Mayor Dennis Carr?
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements? Hearing none, approved minutes, previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Committee report, street alleys and curbs, Aaron Cook.
Are we doing utilities?
utility
or-
board.
We're doing
Oh, I'm
utilities,
on one,
dear.
okay.
Mel?
I'm jumping.
Mel?
Trying to get
thanks, Your Honor. We, the water company, are starting to lay out the water project on Main Street that has to do with the new construction there at Proximo, and to get the final section of water main, old water main, off of US 50. Construction should start sometime next week, depending on the weather. The other item I have on committee reports, Mayor, last meeting we had talked about getting a work session together to learn how to do utility rates. The date that the gentleman set up when he's available is March the 21st at 4:30 p.m. And it will be a work session, so any of our customers that want to know how to put electrical, water, and sewer rates together should come to that meeting. It will be a work session. The way we've got it designed, you all will design rates for a fictitious utility. So it should be a lot of fun.
What day is that, do you know? What day of the week?
I don't know.
The Wednesday or
Thursday, maybe?
Thursday, I think.
Thursday, I think.
Can you
yeah.
repeat that date and time, Mel?
Pardon me?
The date and time, could you repeat that, please?
3/21/13 at 4:30. And if I could get the clerk treasurer to, request clerk treasurer to post that?
Yeah, I'll
Thank you.
post it.
And it is the Thursday.
Yeah. That's all I have under committee reports, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mel. New business? No, any new business? Any old business?
Old business, last meeting, we opened the bids for the bucket truck, and I requested until this meeting to review the specs, specifications. The low bidder, which was utility truck and equipment, met the specifications. The high bidder met the specifications also, but I'm recommending the lowest bidder at $220,420.
Anything to the board?
And who was that, Mel?
Utility truck and equipment.
Anybody have any questions? Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it.
That's all the business I have, Your Honor. I'd like to thank the board. Appreciate it.
Review and discuss claims for board approval.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
call, please.
Okay. As soon as I find it. Member Jane Pope.
Present.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner.
Present.
Member Mike Lawrence.
Here.
Member Doug Taylor.
Here.
Police Chief Gene Hunnefeld. Here. Assistant Fire Chief Rob Schutte. Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis.
Here.
I'm sorry, EMS Director, I did it again, Bobby Mills. Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements? Hearing none. Approved minutes, previous meeting?
Mayor, I got a correction. Common Council Board of Works work session, page 1.
On council, Jane, or?
It's council and that board, it's that work session.
It's council / Board of Works work session, February 22nd. Paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sentence in there states that Mike Clark said money was budgeted to do the Boy Scout cabin, fairground restrooms, and fairground storage building, and if there's enough left, it could cover the sign of the dog park. That was my statement.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I made that statement that those were the 3 projects that we approved.
What were the 3 projects again? Boy Scout cabin, fairground?
Restrooms and fairground storage building. You want my notes for tomorrow?
And I think Mike's actually the one that made the statement that we should have enough left over to get Gus's dog park sign up. And then I want to go to page 2, paragraph 2. I'm not saying this is incorrect because it is correct. Leslie Votaw said she talked to Ice Miller, Umbog, and Reedy about lumping projects together, and they all agreed that is the way it should be. Take one, pass it down, please. Our financial advisor contacted Dan, who works for the city. It says council held a special meeting to review projects for 2013. The projects had been listed separately at the work sessions, and the ones council wanted done were approved somewhere in all of this. Projects were lumped together in single line items. At the 2/22 special meeting, Leslie Votaw stated that Reedy and Umbug agreed it would be better to lump these into single line items. Mike does not remember this being said by either of you. Is this statement true? They basically told council that the money is appropriated, so only the Board of Works has authority over what projects to approve. Dan responded, Leslie indicated that this was the intent of council. We had prepared the individual line items, and my understanding, they got consolidated for the final ordinance. Well, this council person didn't agree to lump them together, and I don't know if anybody else sitting on this council lumped them together, because we did have them separated for a special reason, so those would be the first ones done, and that would be the order in which they would be done. So I'm saying our attorney made a false statement, and I would like to believe that we could trust our city attorney.
Jane, a budget goes to the Board of Works, and the Board of Works has the budget.
I'm not talking about, you're correct, you're 100% correct. I'm talking about the statement she made was untrue. Reedy and Umbog did not agree to lump those together. She took it upon herself to do it.
And if council does not see fit for a project to be done, they do not have to budget the money for it.
The money's already budgeted.
It's because, no, I'm not going to get in, I'm just saying, because she said we had no say.
That's not what I said. I didn't say you didn't have any say. What I said was, at that meeting, and I pulled out the worksheet that Reedy prepared for that night and looked at it, and what had happened is you had cut all of the projects. You cut by half, if you remember. Nothing was cut out. It was cut by half. So there was no way to delineate specific things, how you cut in half to each individual projects. So therefore, when Umball had faxed me the final ordinance, and they were in there as just single line items, that was what was suggested by them, because that's what they prepared for me to review. And I thought it made sense because there was no specific project that we knew, there was no specific project that was approved the total money for. See what I'm saying? I mean,
I'll agree with you on that first 4-hour work session. We agreed to split everything in half.
This was on the 28th.
But the one where
when we had the huge, big, it was the legal size, we had 4 pages of it, and I went back and looked at our notes, and those projects, when they were listed individually, came up with, for instance, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, I wish I would have brought it with me. It was 1.5 for one, it was 500,000 for another list of projects. You cut it by half, and that was with a work session that Mr. Lawrence and the mayor, I think, they had some kind of, before the meeting, they had come up with a different budget to try to make it a balanced budget. All I was saying is, I mean, there was no way for us to do single line items when you cut it by half. I mean, some of those were cut out. I mean, the dog sign park was, for instance, was $2,000.
Well,
so when
I
you
know
cut
it
it by half, that's...
But we worked further on, and this is from that meeting, the last meeting that we had, and I've got it 1, 2, 3 that we agreed to. And that's exactly what Mr. Umbog sent us. Heading. Dan.
All I'm saying is, at that last meeting, I asked Mr. Hayden was sitting in front of me.
Sorry.
And Eric Reedy and Valerie were sitting there, and I said, is it the best way just to lump those together? And they said yes.
Well, according to them, they did not. They said it was upon your suggestion, and that was the intent of council.
We were here for 5 hours that night. It wasn't 4, it was 5 hours. And when we left, everyone was on the same sheet of music.
I thought we were.
And we're still, I was in Columbus at the last meeting, but we're still talking about projects. I mean, 5 hours, when we left, we were good. And we're still having meetings about projects. This is crazy.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to make a point.
All right, we're moving on.
Try to get him writing next time. Okay. I think we were just on the minutes.
Do you have any more corrections?
No. Okay. Well, I didn't want him to move on to something else.
Approved minutes of previous meeting.
So move.
Second.
With the corrections.
Yeah. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
I have to look at the tape, Jackie, I'm assuming. Right.
Sure, why not? Okay, yeah, tomorrow.
Committee reports. Street dialing curbs, Aaron Cook.
No report, Mayor.
Mayor, I got something. Mario, did you have a chance, I know Mike's not here, but did anybody have a chance to contact the state about the traffic light at US 50 and Arch?
No, I wasn't aware of it.
Okay.
I didn't contact them.
Mike said he would, but
Is
with
the
him,
cycle off on it, you're thinking, or?
arrows.
They want turn arrows.
Turn arrows going into the back of the high school and one going into Arch Street.
I think Mike was looking into that.
Yeah. I can tell you that we brought that up back when we did the new signals, and it's a process.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
For the state, it's a long process.
That's what they do, is count that as a movement. In other words, a car's going to be stopped there so long. We only have so many movements through Arch Street all the way down to 48. So
They'll have to do a study, won't they?
all
What
their
they're doing,
business. Yeah. It's like an act of Congress. We'll bring it up.
And Mario, I don't know if, I'm sorry, if you or Mike took care of it, but I know someone took care of that Ivy Tech sign at Fearman's.
We had it removed. It was on their property.
Thank you.
Correct.
Okay.
Mayor, I got one thing under parks that I forgot to mention. Did you contact the Lawrenceburg Conservancy District about any kind of George Street water pumping? Keep the water out of,
The sites with, yeah, we did contact them. I think they're waiting for the report to be finished up. Evie?
That's correct. Or we've got a project going out for bid next week, or a pre-bid meeting next week. We have to get the results of some relief well tests before we can finish the design. I believe, Paul, correct me, but I believe the engineer said that we should have final results by our May board meeting.
Thank you.
Any more, Jane?
Not on streets, alleys, alley, and curbs, no.
I have one thing. Carl, the home across from Acapulco's status, I mean, what's going on?
We have it, letters sent. We have a plan of action. Take place within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Set the dumpsters out. The letters were sent.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, financial, Jane.
There you go. Yes, Your Honor, I reviewed claims and invoices, and I did deny one claim. Hollywood Casino, Indiana Gaming, GLP, for $425,000. The line item is 280001518, and I talked to Jackie to verify this today, and she said that line item is for the 10-county grant program. Mario, do you have one of these? No. Maybe I don't have an extra one. There you go. And then I read the contract, and the contract was between the Redevelopment Commission and the Indiana Gaming Company, LP. The agreement has nothing to do with the 10-county grant program, and if it is through the 10-county grant program, then all grants are supposed to come back before City Council for final approval, which instead of them bringing it back before City Council for final approval, they put it through the Redevelopment Commission for final approval. I'd like to read ordinance number 18, 2012, an ordinance concerning the 10-county grant program, whereas the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, has authority pursuant to its statutory and home rule powers to adopt this ordinance, and whereas the Common Council previously established a 10-county grant program for the purpose of making grants to promote economic development within a 10-county area consisting of the following counties: Dearborn, Ripley, Jefferson, Bartholomew, Jackson, Union, Franklin, Jennings, Fayette, and Decatur, and whereas said TCGP was established by a unanimous vote of the Common Council, but not formally by ordinance, and whereas the TCGP was to consist of money appropriated by the city, 1, 2, money available under the development agreement between the city and Indiana Gaming LLC, and 3, any other legally available source, and whereas the Common Council created a review committee to administrate the TCGP, and whereas the Common Council is the physical body of the city and is the only governmental entity of the city with the authority to establish funds of the city by ordinance, including the TCGP, and whereas the proper administration of the TCGP has been the subject of recent discussion and debate, and whereas the Common Council desires to reestablish the TCGP in order to legalize and validate the TCGP, and whereas the Common Council desires to modify certain provisions governing the administration of the TCGP. Now therefore be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana as follows. Section 1, Fund Established. There is hereby reestablished the 10-county grant program, hereinafter TCGP, as a separate, non-reverting fund for the purpose of promoting economic development in the following 10 counties: Dearborn, Ripley, Jefferson, Bartholomew, Jackson, Union, Franklin, Jennings, Fayette, and Decatur. Section 2, Program Guidelines. That the TCGP guidelines and approval process attached hereto, made a part hereof, and designated as Exhibit A, are hereby approved and confirmed. All recommended grants by the committee, I want to emphasize this, all recommended grants by the committee will be subject to final approval of Common Council. And it never did come back before Common Council.
But you need to read Section 4, Jane.
Section 3, Servility. If any section, paragraph, or provision of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unenforceable for any reason, the unenforceability of such section, paragraph, or provision shall not affect any of the remaining provisions of this ordinance. Section 4, Revision and Ratification. All grants approved by the prior grant review committee with respect to the 10-county grant program are hereby declared to be reviewable by the committee and subject to required modification with prior approval of Common Council. All said grants approved since January 1, 2012 are hereby ratified. So it says in there once again, committee and subject required modification with prior approval of Common Council.
But this grant was approved in between that and January 1st, and you ratified all the grants approved since January 1st, 2012 are hereby ratified. That's exactly what Section 4 says.
All grants that came back to us for final approval, all of them from January on, was brought back before us except for this grant.
No.
All of them.
And it wasn't. In November, you're saying it could, because there were many grants that were made between January and November of 2012.
I could have brought them all. I've got them all. Every one of them we approved except for this one. This one bypassed City Council and it went to redevelopment.
Because it was a development agreement and not an interlocal agreement.
It was
the guidelines
it was paid out of the 10-county grant money, and you're exactly right. It was a development agreement, so why didn't the money come out of the development?
All said grants approved since January 1st, 2012 are hereby ratified. At that time, and actually...
Approved. All said grants approved. We didn't approve this grant.
Can you let me speak a minute?
Yes.
All I'm saying is you were the one that brought that motion forward. You were the one that said, let's add that to that. Let's ratify everything. We can ratify everything from November to January 1st. You were the one that made that motion. We put that in there.
With prior approval, and we never did approve that grant. That's the only one we didn't approve.
You didn't say prior approval. You said all said grants approved since January 1st are hereby ratified. That to me, and dealing with this whole thing with Hollywood, it was ratified. It was approved, and it was between January 1st and November.
I don't agree with it myself, and I did meet, as I told you I was going to. I met with the FBI on Tuesday. I give them copies of everything to see what their opinion is of it.
And I was told by the FBI to read ordinance out loud and to state that it had to come back before Common Council for final approval. And I'm going to finish reading the ordinance. Section 5, repeal of conflicting provisions. All ordinance or parts thereof in conflict with provisions of this ordinance are, to the extent of such conflict, hereby repealed or amended. Section 6, successor and interest, effective with the passage of this ordinance. All rights, responsibility, obligations, and liabilities previously held by the prior grant review committee become the rights, responsibility, obligations, and liabilities of the present grant review committee. Section 7, effective date. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its passage and execution by the mayor. Ordained and passed on the 26th day of November, 2012, at 5:00 p.m. in accordance with applicable law by the council of the city of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County. Signed by the mayor, Jackie, and the mayor. And the mayor. And
Obligations.
No.
I'm trying to find one more thing, Mayor. We got so much paper in
Hey,
front
Mike,
of us.
wait a minute,
I'm gonna call, Mayor, would you come up here and address some of this?
If Bill has a question for me.
Just let him speak.
Thank you, Your Honor. Much appreciated. Well, we've been going back and forth regarding this piece for quite a few months now. And Jane, thank you very much for reading the ordinance to all of us. I'm going to ask you respectfully to list to me why you oppose. And I'm not revisiting the issue. This, to my knowledge, Your Honor, and ladies and gentlemen of City Council, was presented within the framework of an approved, legit program. It is my understanding that it has passed all the obstacles and the due diligence of such. And it has been sponsored, ratified, and today it's a formality, if you will.
It did not pass this board.
Wait a minute, let him speak, then you can speak.
So could you please share with us why?
It was never brought before us.
I can answer to that. Leslie, Mr. Mayor, my understanding is that it was.
They ratified all the grants approved since January 1st, 2012. It also says a successor and interest effective with the passage of the ordinance. All those liabilities held by the prior grant review committee become the rights, responsibilities, obligations, and liabilities of the present grant review committee. When we did this ordinance, we had the ones that had already been passed and were actually probably already dispersed in mind. Like I said, as far as your specific agreement, it is different because the guidelines do not speak to development agreements. The guidelines only speak to interlocal agreements between two governmental entities. So, like I said, I thought basically that everything had gone through like you just stated, and it was okay to have you request the money.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is the answer to your question. We had exhibited and presented, again, within the framework of what is set up and procedurally approved. And from our side, this thing has been approved and done. Now, obviously, I can't tell you how to act on it. I'm actually not familiar exactly of what this step means to the process, but I'm here, and since I heard it, I wasn't aware it was going to be brought up. I'm here to request that we get done with this once and for all, Your Honor.
I agree. You had something to say, Mike?
No.
I had a question. This was, I know it went through redevelopment because I know we sponsor the 10 county grant program when they come through, and I know this was brought up in a meeting, and I know, Mike, you're the chairman, so I know you were aware of it.
And then I opposed it, but I don't get the vote.
But
he opposed it and refused to sign it too.
Right.
So anyway, this was passed, this ordinance concerning 10 county grant programs, which you and you all agreed to, am I right?
Well, if she's correct, we was misguided by Mr. Votal, and I will say that, and they're the ones that goes to school to be attorneys, so if I was misled, misrepresented something, then I don't agree with it.
But you were aware of it, and you didn't vote against it at this meeting.
It was my understanding that all grants had to come back, and we had months of going over and over because we didn't want the word ratified in there, period. But guess what? We got it pushed on us again.
No, now, you didn't have to vote on it, all right?
Bill.
But you did.
I'm telling you my opinion. I will never vote to approve that grant. They're getting $49 million at the end of this road, and if that is not good enough for them, I'm sorry. That is plenty in my outlook.
Whether they jammed it down your throat, you didn't have to vote for it. You agreed to put the word ratified in there. You did too, Jane. I mean, we went over this. It took us almost a year to get this done.
I know.
And you guys finally voted on
Why,
to ratify
why but only
the word.
one grant? Why but only this one grant didn't come back before this council, when the rest of them did?
I just explained
So
that.
they're all
The
interrelated
guidelines
with
and the guidelines do not provide for development agreements, and maybe that's something that this board needs to look at as far as amending those guidelines.
Because everything that they do is to try to trick us, is exactly their situation. That's right. Laugh all you want. That's your opinion. That is my opinion, and I'll share it.
It's practice that's been done in the past when one board...
Jane, be careful. Be careful.
When one board doesn't accept something, they pass it to the next board that will accept something.
But in the end,
and that was done to you, Mayor Carr.
Came back to you. You voted on it.
When you was on the Board of Works. Why can't you show some goodwill toward Lawrenceburg? Why can't you come up with your $425,000 yourself?
Wow.
The grant request was submitted and approved, okay? And we have a lot to show as far as goodwill. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Where do you think all
Your
this
Honor.
money comes from?
You don't gotta give it back to them.
Gaming, but
You don't give it
Out of
back.
order.
You don't give it back to where it came from. They give us what is given to Lawrenceburg because that is in the agreement. You think they give it to us because they want to? I guarantee you, if it wasn't in the agreement, they would not give us the money.
Wesley, let me ask a question. You're saying that there's two different things as far as the 10 county grant issue as far as the economic development and such, and then you're saying it's a development agreement.
It is, because it's not with an interlocal, it's
Okay,
not
but
an interlocal.
my only question on this is that the 10 county grant program is for economic development as far as with these 10 counties and such that goes on here, and I'm sure that a lot of these counties listed here, $425,000 would go a long ways as far as an economic development in that part.
But for instance, we did other development agreements with, like, the tire company, the local tire company. That was one we did. It's not with a governmental entity, but it's one that we did with them.
That was
we
a
also
different-
we also did it through the the car lot down there. That's one that was proposed to the committee and went through the committee.
That was not this administration.
I understand, but what I'm saying is the development agreements are different just because an entity like Hollywood, like Indiana Gaming, cannot enter into an interlocal because those are only between two counties or a city and a county, or you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's governmental entities. And I brought this up back in November. Or I had Mr. Votel, I know that we've spoke about it before. Those guidelines do not address the development agreements, and that is something maybe this council should look to amend, so that we can we can address the development agreements between the non-governmental entities and the 10 county grant program.
But the ones you're talking about as far as the local businesses and such, those are like business grants.
They're actually development agreements. They receive funds from the grant program.
From the 10 county grant program.
Well, I denied the claim. And when motions and claims go through at the end of the evening, I'm still going to deny the claim because I don't think proper procedure was taken.
Is this the only reason?
Is this the only
Is
reason?
this your only reason to deny it? That was my question.
I really don't even
over here.
understand what you're going to use the money for.
Okay.
I
No,
mean, I don't even know how it's going to economically
again, I'm not- I don't wanna- I don't wanna-
our community.
This has
I read
presented
the
and reviewed.
contract. I have nothing personally against
completely
you
understand.
or your casino.
I'm not saying that,
I'm just trying to
ma'am.
say that things are done the right way.
Okay, I got it. And for the records, Your Honor, I'm going to have to address this since Mr. Lawrence said it. Mr. Lawrence, I'm going to leave you my phone number, and please call it because I'd like to speak with you because we're not getting $49 million. I'll explain to you how the deal works, and I'll be more than happy to spend time with you on it.
You're supposed to pay back $14 million.
But you're on records and you're saying $49 million that we're getting.
You are going to pay
with
back
your permission,
$14
Your Honor.
million over 20 years.
Again, I'll be more than happy to share the idea with you and get into the details.
But really,
Since
all
it's a
the
different
people
topic.
need to know it. It's not just me, it's the people.
Okay.
I'd like for you to explain what you're going to do with the $425,000.
The $425,000 will go to CSX to convert a temporary crossing on the west side of our property into a permanent crossing. And in doing so, we proposed that we would give up one of the private grade crossings that lead into the land which would be turned over to the control of the city of Lawrenceburg, to give them the option of developing it as actually a significant part of the riverfront development. It's all in the grant paperwork and it's been submitted before. Again, Your Honor, allow me, I don't want to rehash the grant and why we came about in August or in July or whenever it was. I'm here to help and answer any questions that I may be able to at this time.
Any questions? Time to ask it.
I have one. Why do you feel that it's the city's obligation to pay for the railroad crossing?
It's not that I feel that it's the city's obligation. It's a program that is offered to the public that we're willing to take advantage of, like everybody else in this community. And it was sponsored, approved, and ratified. That is my knowledge at this time. Thank you.
Would you like to explain what the benefit to the city it was?
I think everybody's seen the proposals of the Riverfront Park, the amphitheater, the marina. Anybody has questions? Bill, Aaron?
Additional parking too, wasn't there?
Additional parking for the existing parking garage. And Ahmed, you may explain how many cars you park now in the Ivy Tech parking garage?
During peak periods, I do anywhere between 300 and 500 on weekend nights.
You relocated to this new site.
Okay, let me ask this. Because this was asked before. We got a couple people here from the school. The school can't ask for money through the 10-county grant program because it's not economic development. I don't really see where the railroad crossing is economic development. Somebody had said to me before that it was a safety issue. Okay, well, if you want to talk about safety issue, well, I think the kids got a safety issue over here at the gymnasium. I just don't understand why everybody is fighting so hard for this 425. And I think there's other areas that it could be used, and no offense, but the people that need it worse.
I understand, sir. I think it's the other way around, though, with all due respect. We're not fighting so hard. It's being fought so hard. Thank you.
Okay, I'm fighting against it, yes.
That does benefit the city, open that gate up. We can do our parking in there, but apparently you don't want it.
I mean, at this point, you understand that this opens us up to liability. Because this development agreement is a binding contract. And if the money is not paid, you understand that opens up a lot of things. A lot of things I don't even think you guys are even grasping at this point.
Maybe if there was more shared with us, maybe we could grasp it.
It was shared with you, Mike. You're the chairman of the redevelopment commission.
And I did not agree with it.
But
I didn't sign it, did not agree
No,
with it.
you still
Never
had,
stuttered about it.
From the very beginning of this grant application, when it was brought to be sponsored by redevelopment, you were there. So.
Why was this the one and only grant, Leslie, that wasn't brought back before City Council?
I don't have a copy of the guidelines, Jane, but I can show you exactly where it is in the guidelines. The guidelines and approval process, when we did the guidelines and we used a state form and made the guidelines specific to this grant program, because there's not a whole lot of in this whole state that have something like this. And we probably won't after this. But there is not anything in there for development agreements. It's only for interlocals between governmental entities. Like I said, I brought it up last year. I brought it up again tonight. It is something we probably need to address. But that's the reason.
Was this grant approved before the November 26th ordinance that was approved?
Yes, I think it was May, wasn't it?
I don't recall.
It was before that.
Yeah, it was May. It was in the summer.
Doug, you know when it was?
It was in the latter part of the year. I don't know exactly what the date was, though.
It had to have been July.
I know, at least that's
the only thing I'll add.
It was hot outside.
When you had proposed it, I think your proposal papers had May on it, so I'm not sure when it actually passed the grant committee, but.
The only thing that I would add on this here as far as Ahmed, the 10-county grant, because I'm on the committee as well, when it was first brought up, there wasn't anything as far as, it was basically bare bones, the application and such, and then there was another meeting that it brought up, and Mario had brought up as far as, and then showing the riverfront development and what have you on the part, and me being at that meeting, that was the first I had heard anything about any development on that in regards to this gate being put in. Or not move, but basically moved down, and then the city acquiring that property inside.
And it was approved then?
It was discussed that day.
And was it approved?
Yeah, it was voted on that there,
right,
through the 10-county grant committee.
Doug, to my knowledge, our paperwork that we submitted has never been changed.
Well, I'm just saying that it came up twice, and the second time there was more information that it came up to because it was a little cloudy on some of what was.
Yeah, sure, and we came back to elaborate and explain. That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
But Doug, do you know if it was before November?
I don't know. I don't have the paperwork in front of me now.
26th.
Okay, you got a shot when we do claims, you can approve it or disapprove it. We're gonna move on.
Before we do that, we get that point, I want to ask the city attorney, did you think everything's legal in your opinion, the way it was done?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I mean, the ratification of all the prior grants, my understanding, and when I typed this, it was, everything after that was to be approved by council, and that's what I thought everybody agreed to.
Okay. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you for allowing me to speak, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Moving on, Finance, Jane Pope. Any more?
No, Your Honor.
Fire Department, Bill Bruner.
No report.
Police Chief, Gene Hunterfield.
No report, Mayor.
Assistant Chief, Robbie Shude. EMS Director, Bobby Mills.
No report, Mayor.
Moving on to new business. Rachel Herzo, Christine Craig, Cinderella Project.
Hi, my name is Christine Craig. I'm here for the Cinderella Project again this year. This is our 6th year doing this with Lawrenceburg High School. We have helped now probably about 76 young ladies to go to prom and to afford, to get everything they need to have a great experience. This year I'm back asking for money from the city again. We have 12 young ladies. 2 of those have special needs. One is going to take 4X dress, so we have to have that special made. We also were asked by the school to take 2 young men. One of those is special needs, the other one is a foster child. So we're going to have to get tuxedos for them this year. Prom tickets are $50 a piece. So, you know, I'm up here asking for $1,250 for prom tickets and to help with the cost of the tux and the special order dress.
Anything on the board?
And how many kids is that helping?
14.
I make a motion to give $1,250 for the Cinderella project out of council donations.
Second.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Who seconded it? I'm sorry. Aaron, okay, thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul Seymour Jr., picnic table construction.
I'm here tonight representing the Community Athletic Park. On the last grant, we were able to put in 2 pavilions out on the outside of the Babe Ruth field. We're trying to create a park area there. The fields this year are going to really get used even more than they was last year. What I'm requesting tonight, I've already went before the LCD board members. I was going to ask in the form of labor, we need picnic tables. We're going to need about 8 of them. What I was going to propose was if the CAP board and the LCD supply the materials, would the carpentry crew of the city build us 8 picnic tables?
Actually, it's Board of Works, but I talked to them. They don't have any problem. I don't have any problem just going in and doing it as long as you're paying the bill.
Well, thank you.
Well, Representative Jud McMillin, discuss grant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and councilmen and women and other distinguished members. I'm glad we just had that very robust discussion about the 10-county grant project, because that's what I want to talk with you about here for a little bit. As you guys know, because you guys have been involved with it, there is a grant that I personally was a sponsor of, as we have to have a governmental sponsor, that this county or this council recently decided they didn't want to entertain. And I'm not here for an explanation about it. I'm here to have a very public discussion about it, to explain a couple things about it, and then I have one very simple request for you that I will ask you to entertain when we get done talking about these things. But first of all, I want to say, and I think most of you know that I'm all about transparency. When I first started running for this office, I worked very hard to make sure that I was available to talk to everybody. I'm not saying I can answer every single email that comes to me right now, but I will say I bet you'd be hard-pressed to find another elected official, especially at the state level, who is active on social media, who is available to return phone calls, who is organizing and participating in as many town hall functions and meeting with people as I do. And I don't say that to pat myself on the back. I say that because I believe that's the way government should operate. And I know that that's the way that a lot of folks on this board feel as well. And so I very much appreciate that. Because I worked so hard to be transparent, it was a little bit extra disturbing to me that because of one newspaper that had some ulterior motives printed an article that we didn't then get to discuss about, that some actions were taken without full information. And so that's why I'm here. It's just so we can have full information and discuss all of it face-to-face in front of everybody that's here, talk about it in public, record it so that everybody can know what we're talking about. I want to apologize to you guys. I think that I probably did a poor job or not as effective a job of explaining everything that was going to be in that grant, much like the problem we just had with the grant to Hollywood Casino. You guys haven't been privy to all the information. That's because there's a system that's set up that doesn't necessarily include you. It does include a way for you guys to have the opportunity to reject or approve of grants, but it doesn't allow you to get into the meat and potatoes of what's really going on. And I probably should have taken more responsibility on my shoulders to make sure that you knew about all that. And I apologize for not having done that. I got to be honest, even though I sit on that grant committee, I'm not completely familiar with all the procedures, and I don't think that the members of Destination Brookville, who were the grant applicant, were familiar with those either. Because I can tell you this, and they're here to speak with you if you would like to, I don't think anybody there knew that a grant had ever been awarded, if one had, in fact. They were not aware that one had been awarded to even be revoked. They were under the impression that it was through one phase of the grant application process, that there was a second phase to the grant application process that it still had to go through, and then it would come in front of you. So if that's not the case, again, I apologize for not being familiar enough with the process. But if it was, I don't want to speak for them, but I'm reasonably confident in telling you, saying to you that they would say, thank you for slowing the process down a little bit so that it can be discussed. And I'll tell you why. We'll come back to why I believe they would say thank you. And then you're going to have the chance to talk with them if you would like to do that. Now, first of all, let me address a couple things. There have been some questions raised about my particular involvement with this, and I want to address those head on. First of all, I am not a member of Destination Brookville LLC. I have been in the past. There were questions about whether or not I divested myself. I have 10 of these that I will hand out. You guys can pass around.
Thank you.
In addition to the front of those being a statement of purpose for Destination Brookville LLC and a small biography of those members who are involved in Destination Brookville LLC. The back portion is evidence of my divesting myself of Destination Brookville LLC. I have no interest there, don't have an interest in doing anything with them other than trying to help them succeed. I've gone to bat for them just like I've gone to bat for other folks. So you're welcome to look at some of those documents that are in the back. Next question was, because I was involved and because my mother is one of the people who you will find out is a member of Destination Brookville LLC, did I disclose that and did I cast a vote? Well, I certainly did not cast a vote, and it was in a meeting right here, I think in Councilman Cook's seat that I sat, where I said, after presenting this information to people, that these are friends and family of mine. I can't vote. I'm really close to them, but I believe it's a good project. And there were several people who were in this room when I made that disclosure. So that disclosure was made. There's not an issue of a conflict of interest because I'm not a member, I didn't vote, I fully disclosed. I understand that's incredibly important. It certainly is when we go back to thinking about transparency and why it's important for our government to be transparent.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, sir.
Did you disclose that in a public meeting or executive meeting?
And honestly, Councilman, I don't know that. I know I was sitting right there. I don't know if we had gone from executive session to public session. I know I said it after presenting the things, and that's why I abstained from voting.
Because I got the minutes and the DVD of the public meeting. So,
and it's very possible that I said that within the confines of the executive session, that these are friends and family of mine, so I can't vote. But I guess what's important to note is that if I didn't say that in the public meeting, I did follow through and abstain from voting. So again, burden's on me. I apologize if I didn't disclose that properly. And I want to talk about the project a little bit, but before I talk about the project, I want to address some other things that have come up as this thing has been vetted in areas other than us actually having a discussion. I have appeared in front of this board several times, and I've talked specifically about riverboat gaming revenues, funding, what you can do to help me protect it, and the 10-county grant program. In fact, I represented the 10-county grant program when it was given an award by the Chamber of Commerce this year. I have always been a huge proponent of the 10-county grant program, and I always will be, because I firmly believe that the best thing that you guys can be doing with the revenues that you have is implementing this program and sharing it with communities around you to promote economic development. That's what it has to be for. I've said that numerous times right here. We have to be talking about promoting economic development. And that 10-county grant program does that. The administration before Mayor Carr's administration deserves credit for it. Mayor Carr, you deserve credit for continuing it. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, you deserve credit for allowing it to be continued. I understand you want to put some more restraints on it by having people come in and talk to you about it. I think that's a great idea. When you're talking about giving money away like you guys are talking about, there needs to be accountability for it. And that's why we have folks here tonight who will be willing to talk to you about these types of things, so there can be that type of accountability. But the city of Lawrenceburg has a really, really good program. And in sharing those funds, you're doing a huge service for yourself across the state and for the citizens of southeastern Indiana, not just Dearborn County, but the other 9 counties who are involved in that program. Now, with that being said, I'm from Franklin County. I will be the first to acknowledge to you that we have been a little bit slow in coming around to grasp the concept of promoting economic development within our county. You guys have been doing great things down here. As you guys know, there's been $500,000 going to Franklin County for a long time that might not have been being spent in the right way. But things are changing now. We have really great people who are helping. Thanks to the leadership of people like Renee Stivers, who are here in the crowd and is on the town board, who has helped to get a redevelopment commission into town. Thanks to people like Rodney Grubbs, who is the vice president of our Chamber of Commerce, who are people who are willing to go out and say, hey, we really need to promote things like redevelopment commissions within our community to be able to use these funds effectively and make sure we promote economic development within our communities. And he is here to help. Thanks to people like Todd Thackeray, who is a member of our newly formed redevelopment commission, who is here tonight, who is willing to talk with you guys about what he thinks are the benefits of these types of projects. Franklin County is coming around. We want to be a partner with Dearborn County in driving economic development for southeastern Indiana. That's what we want to be able to do. These redevelopment commissions allow us to create TIF districts, allow us to capture increases in tax revenues, allow us to provide our own infrastructure, and those types of necessary things for the communities to succeed. And if we can do that there with a little bit of a grant, then it takes some burden off of you, because we're not going to be coming back asking you guys for more money. And that's really important. So let me talk to you a little bit about the project, what it is, because Councilwoman Pope, I understand completely your frustration with the Hollywood Casino grant. I really do. Because as Councilman Taylor told you earlier, when we first had a meeting on that grant committee, we weren't too sold on it. But people came back to us and talked about what it really was, and it did change some minds. And so what I hope to be able to do here with you today is give you the information that you haven't been privy to. And that's, again, that's not your fault, that's my fault that you didn't have that information. But what we are talking about here, it's been discussed that this is about creating lodging opportunities, or this is about creating a movie theater, or saving a movie theater, or this is about putting in a restaurant. All those things are parts of the plan. But I can tell you this project isn't about a restaurant. This project isn't about a movie theater. It's not even about lodging opportunities. This project is about revitalizing an entire downtown, a renovation of a community where we have unique opportunities. Pat Kreider earlier talked to you guys about the importance of having a sign out there. Great idea. You guys need to get foot traffic onto your main street so that businesses can flourish and that people have incentives to open businesses. We don't have that problem in Franklin County, specifically in Brookville. We have the unique advantage of our main street being a major thoroughfare. We have, depending on whose numbers you believe, somewhere between 1.5 and 2.5 million visitors driving through our small little town of, what is it, Renee, about 3,000? Is that what we got? 2,700.
I agree with that, because I drive through there several times a year. I camp at Brookville Lake.
Yeah.
And I spend money in your downtown.
And we want you to spend more. That's what this is about. We want you to spend more. What this is about creating anchor businesses that attract tourists who are driving through to not just drive through, but to stop and spend time. And hopefully not just spend a couple hours. Hopefully spend a night, spend a weekend, spend a week doing things, taking advantage of the rivers that we have, or the lakes that we have, or Metamora, or the unique landscape that we have. If people are staying there, all of those things will attract businesses, will give entrepreneurs an opportunity to get involved and to open up businesses because they have foot traffic and they have people with disposable income there. Now, I want to be clear, none of this is happening in a vacuum. This is a plan, a KZF design plan from 2005. I just made two of them because they're really thick. I didn't want to bore you guys with them. But I can at least leave them.
I was going to say, give them here. I don't need it.
What that KZF design plan was a plan to revitalize the community from back in 2005. It talks about a lot of things that need to be done, some of which we're doing now, some of which have already been done. In the past couple of years in Brookville, we've taken good steps to try and, again, thanks to Mr. Stivers and some of the things the town board's done, they have already redone the infrastructure under Main Street, new sewer lines, new water lines, all those things. So when we're talking about doing this project is done with the knowledge that because we have done those, NDOT is preparing to come in and redo Main Street. And when I say redo, I mean a complete redo. Not just pavement on it, but rebuild Main Street, new sidewalks, new curbs, the whole 9 yards to make it an attractive place to be. So because of that, and because of other private industries that are talking about locating in Brookville right now if they have the necessary incentive to come, we believe that this project will really be a foundation for driving economic development in Brookville for a long, long time to come. Now, we talk about the grant. It has been tossed around that somebody's getting $600,000, which is a big chunk of money. I get it. But let's be clear, nobody seems to want to talk about or hasn't talked about yet the fact that for that $600,000, we have people who are putting up approximately $1.5 million of their own money. Destination Brookville LLC is already about $500,000 in projects that they're doing. So this isn't something where there's not skin in the game, where there's not people who are subject to some real risk. If these folks aren't successful in it, they stand to lose $1.5 million of their own money, which is an incredibly attractive feature. But that brings us back to what I said we will come back and discuss. Thank you guys for slowing it down. Because I'm not here to ask you guys, when I said I have a simple request, I'm not here to ask you to approve it. because quite frankly, I don't know that they want it approved yet. I'm asking you to have an open mind as it goes through the process, because right now, as we speak, it has been approved by the original grant committee, which has a function to determine whether or not the project is something that sounds like a good idea. It's still in the process of going through the ISBDC, the Indiana Small Business Development Association, to determine whether or not it is economically feasible. If it's not economically feasible, I'm willing to bet you, and you can ask them, that the members of Destination Brookville LLC will say, we don't want the $600,000 grant if it means that it's not economically feasible and we're going to lose our 1.5. So all I'm here to do is to ask you to keep an open mind as it goes through that. And again, I think it's great that you guys want to have an extra set of eyes on these things before they go. So if you want to have that extra set of eyes, let it go through the ISBDC. Let them then come back and present to you the idea, and you can make the final determination. If the grant board approves it and the ISBDC gives it a green light, then you still have the opportunity to determine whether or not it's the right thing for this community to be doing to help Brookville, Indiana. The members are here. Sharon McMillin, Alan Beneker, and Jenny Wills, Nick's husband, or honey, Jenny Wills, Jenny's husband, Nick, Sharon's husband, Teen. Also here is Rick Bender. We talk about these different projects. Rick is the owner of the movie theater. He is not a member of Destination Brookville LLC. A lot of that money is going to be earmarked to help revitalize the movie theater, which, by the way, if it's not done, will be closing in the immediate future because of the need to go digital and the cost investment incurred with those types of things. And that's why we think that unique lodging opportunities plus restaurants plus entertainment opportunities like the movie theater will help drive this thing. So all the members are here. We have a representative from our town board here, representative of the Redevelopment Commission here, representative of the Chamber of Commerce here. And if you've got questions for me, I'm happy to take them. If you've got questions for them, I'm sure they'll take them too. Sorry to talk so long.
Can I ask a question?
You certainly can, sir.
I know you brought up the Franklin County. They get $500,000 for many years. That's for their redevelopment.
Yes, sir.
Are they going to invest any money in this?
Not in this project, no.
Because I know this is Brookville, but it's Franklin County.
That's right. But there's, just like I'm sure Lawrenceburg and Dearborn County don't always see eye to eye, then sometimes Franklin County and Brookville don't see eye to eye. But why I wanted to bring them up is they haven't had a redevelopment commission ever until this year. And it is because of pressure put on by you guys to tell them, if you're going to keep getting this money, you need to spend it for economic development purposes, that they've now developed it. So that's part of my pitch, Councilman Lawrence, to say they're coming along up there. They've come further in the past, I would say, 8 months than they have in 10 years. And it's because there are people trying to drive them to do good things with these dollars.
Any more from board?
Judd, we like you said earlier, we serve on the 10 County Grant Committee. We sat next to each other.
Yes, sir.
As far as on the part there. I recall as far as, and I believe it was an executive session. I'm not for certain on that part, but I'm pretty certain it was. The only thing I heard was just friends. I didn't hear anything as far as family or anything of that nature. And then I get calls about in the newspaper and what have you on that part. And I just, the conflict issue there as far as, it wasn't disclosed on that part. And I wasn't really paying attention, I guess, as far as, but I didn't hear anything as far as family.
Well, and what I can tell you, Councilman Taylor, is I think I said it, I think I remember saying it. If I didn't, that's why we're here today, for transparency.
And I totally agree.
That's right.
Totally agree.
And
I had gotten off work and came up and met with the mayor and met with Grant, and we, both, or all three in that discussion, I mean, the mayor can add in here, is that we felt that, it did look
it looks fishy.
Puzzling, funny, didn't look good as far as the conflict on the issue there, that, maybe as far as the board looking into conflict of interest forms to be filled out in case something like that would be up, which should be in that case.
And I agree it did, but here's one thing I want to recognize is that when it looked fishy in light of a really, really nasty newspaper article that come out. And
well,
we
I'm only going on as far as like with the meeting we had and what information I knew of because I was there as far as in what
And I just want to say that when that stuff started coming out and they tried to pit people against one another, it's interesting to me that as hard as I work to be transparent and to talk with people, nobody ever called anybody from either the actual members of Destination Brookville or me as the sponsor or anybody to talk about things. So I understand it can be fun to have a sexy story that sells papers, but when it gets in the way of economic development, I feel that it's appropriate to stand up and do what's right, and that's what we're trying to do here today.
Well, as far as the council, as far as on this decision to put the brakes on this part, I think that was the right thing to do.
I can't disagree with you.
Looking into this to make sure that it is going to be done correctly, and if it's not, then it's the right thing to do to not be passed on or done.
I think that the members, if you asked them, would agree with that wholeheartedly.
And Joe, while you're here, just for the record, sitting here tonight, I was given from the clerk treasurer's office a letter that was postmarked February 27th. Addressed to Lawrenceburg City Council, attention Mike Lawrence. Aaron was nice enough to make copies for everybody. I'd like to give you one just so you got it. Public record.
Actually, it's 26, Mike.
Well, no, the postmark on the envelope was the 27th. Yeah, I think the letter's dated the 26th, just so.
You'll note the letter doesn't have a name on it, so.
I was just going to point out.
Name on it, then it's.
But I wanted you to get that.
And Councilman Lawrence, I appreciate that, but Councilman Werner.
Here, I had never seen it until tonight.
I specifically instruct, and I'm telling this to all you guys here in case you want to get in touch with me. I specifically instruct the people that work with me in Indianapolis, when complaints come in, if somebody doesn't have the guts to put their name on it, I don't have time to read it. I'm willing to talk with anybody who has the willingness to talk in public with me. But people who want to send nasty things and don't have the guts to put their name on them, I do with them exactly what I think is appropriate, and this one will find a circular file somewhere pretty soon.
I just wanted to share.
And I appreciate that, Mike.
Files, one signed and one unsigned.
Yep.
One signed I read, and one's unsigned goes in that file.
Yep.
They can't put their name behind it, I don't read it.
Well, and I just want to be clear with you. When I say Brookville and Franklin County are coming a long way, they're not doing it in the face of, or without being in the face of some opposition. There are folks up there who are just adamant about not having economic development. And I personally can't understand that, because when we talk about having to do infrastructure, and nobody wants to raise taxes on people, but our town board or our city council can't be expected to continue to provide services and infrastructure without raising taxes unless we have economic development to spread the tax base. That's the only way for it to be done. And that's what this project is really about, we're doing this at the same time while pushing a redevelopment commission so that the individuals who are investing in these properties can have their taxes raised. I mean, we want to create a TIF district so that the very people who are investing their money will have their taxes raised. That's because they want to help the community. They want to be able to have the redevelopment commission take in money so they can keep providing infrastructure so that businesses can continue to be successful. So I really think there are some really altruistic motives here. That this isn't nefarious as people would ask or would have you believe it is. It's people who, quite frankly, these folks, I know I'm speaking on members of family and friends. I'm not saying this about me. These folks are pillars in the community. I mean, look at the things that Mick and Jenny Wills have done since they've been there. And obviously, I'm very proud of my mother and my father. But Dad's been practicing law there since 1974 and been doing some really good things. These, quite frankly, aren't people who need to take the risk of losing $1.5 million. These are people who, if they were a little bit smarter probably, would say, you know what, Jud, we're going to back off this thing because we don't want to run the risk of, one, being publicly humiliated, and two, being financially ruined. But you know what? They believe in Brookville. They believe in the project. And if the ISBDC comes back with numbers and the community is willing to support the project, they're willing to run that risk because it will help southeastern Indiana. So, again, I don't know that I want any action from you guys tonight. You guys can talk about it. I just would like to know if they should continue to spend the time working with the ISBDC on their business plans as they are.
Mayor, has there been any, as far as when you talked to Grant, you and him was going to talk about, as far as, we had talked about that, the conflict as far as for the board members, if there was going to be, like, forms for that, for something like this in the future?
We changed that, yes, we did.
But I mean, as far as, because basically, and in Judd on the part there, is that, the council, it basically was put the brakes on just to make sure that this was going to be, and that's where I stood at, as far as
and I'm fine with that.
On that. But I mean, just seeing.
The next meeting, you're going to see a form, they're changing some of that.
Well, I mean, they're still, as far as the process of the grant checking to see if it's feasible and what having to part there.
Oh, sure, it's got to go through the deal.
Yeah. Due diligence, yeah.
And Councilman Taylor, I wish there had been one so that I didn't have to go through these machinations. Yeah, I mean.
And that's the one reason my concern it came up as far as meeting with the mayor and meeting with Grant. Just happened to catch them both there and had talked. I mean, there was, as far as all three of us, that this just, that this needs to be checked out and made sure of. And
yeah. And that's why I say thank you in all sincerity for making sure this is done right, because I certainly don't want to have my name attached to something that goes south. I want to make sure it goes the right way.
Any more, board?
Thanks for coming to speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I tell them to continue? That the board
Yeah.
will have an open mind about
All I
revisiting
know
this?
is that Mr. Hughes had told me that he was continuing due diligence even after the repeal of the resolution by council. I mean, he was going to come back and present his findings to them, so.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only thing I can put in there.
We'll continue, I'm sure.
Thank you.
So it's still going through like it normally would be, even though the brakes have been put on as
Diligence.
far as the money being
Yes.
issued, right?
The due
Back
diligence.
around everything, thank you. Ahmed, Hollywood Casino.
You're bringing it
Ron,
again.
I was going to talk to you about Senate Bill 528 and
Right.
the impact on the casino, but for the sake of time, unless, however,
You want to make a few comments on it?
just a couple minutes, if you would. Thanks. Thanks for allowing me to speak again.
That way they know what's going on.
Speak without papers, how's that? So, so I'm not sure if everybody read about Senate Bill 528, which had passed the Senate, and Jud, please help me out.
I'll be happy to comment.
When I stumble, yes. So it passed the Senate fairly quickly with a lot of amendments. And it goes something like this. So that what was intended as an effort by the state of Indiana to assist and help the casino industry to remain competitive throughout the state, through the amendment process, ended up being basically a bill that, and frankly, don't ask me how it ended up being that way, because I don't have an answer. But it ended up being a proposition that would basically punish the large casinos versus small casinos within the state of Indiana, and takes the focus completely away from Indiana gaming throughout the state to remain competitive. And guess what? Especially with casinos that have bordering fights with other states like Ohio and Illinois. And when you look at the sentiment around the bill, you'll see that large casinos like Horseshoe Hammond, even Horseshoe Southern Indiana, as well as obviously Hollywood Casino and Tropicana and Evansville, we completely opposed it. There's not a single provision in it as it stands right now that appeals to us. And without getting into the details of the hold harmless money, but I'm going to refer actually to something that Mr. Rosso from the Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development had issued today. I encourage you guys to look at his information that he sent out. It really spells out exactly what's going on with regards to the local community. But with regards to the casino, let me just touch on a couple of highlights real quick for the sake of time. So initially, the bill was intended to relieve the casinos of what we call promotional credits from paying taxes on it. And basically, it would allow the casino to issue promotional credits for marketing purposes and not get taxed on it again when it gets spent within your establishment. But what ended up happening was that a cap was put on that. A cap that really doesn't assist casinos like Hollywood Casino or Horseshoe Hammond, or certainly not Horseshoe Southern Indiana. Rather, it's a cap that would probably allow much smaller casino properties not here to maybe benefit slightly, but not greatly. But then a cap that would really force us to face a reduction, if you will, from marketing efforts that we would otherwise undertake. And the irony of this whole thing is that what we did is that we took a market segment, just one segment of our market that would, if this market segment was to go otherwise unincented, and what I mean by unincented is not send them something to bring them in here to do gaming activities or eating or whatnot, not only that it would impact the city obviously very negatively, but it would impact the state as a whole very negatively. So the very little that would be saved with regards to capping the promo credits would actually impact the overall productivity and production of certain casino. The other piece surrounds the admission taxes and a proposal for a flat fee and a graduating fee that would actually put us in a position of paying higher admission taxes that we currently average on a regular basis. And lastly, which which clearly is something that serves the racinos, if you will. It's something that would allow land-based casinos to be introduced within the licensed locations in the state of Indiana. And when you look at this clearly would undermine a $350 million that was invested to rehab a casino and keep it on water, some of which was your own money as well. So all in all, something that came out and we thought it was going to be something very beneficial to the gaming industry in the state of Indiana, would not only hurt Hollywood Casino, not only the community here with regards to the whole harmless money, I'm not going to get into that, but a lot of large casinos that produce significant revenues to the state of Indiana, in essence. So I'm standing here today. Here's the silver lining, though. I was planning on saying, and I will say, that this, if it goes to show anything, it shows that our fortune is yours, just like every business within your community, small or big. Our fortune is yours and yours is ours. So what's good for the casino industry, especially Hollywood Casino in Lawrenceburg, is good for Lawrenceburg and vice versa. And I stress this for as long as we have been here. We've been fantastic as a partner to you and you to us. I will put the city of Lawrenceburg against any municipality that I've ever worked within before, based on the relationships we've had with you, and we hope to continue this. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else? If you have any questions for me, for the sake of time, I just want to say, and I'm pretty sure, Mr. Mayor, that you're not in favor of a lot of things in Senate Bill 528 as well.
How can we get this stopped, or what do we need to do?
Well, thank goodness. Well, right now, it passed the Senate. I was going to say, thank goodness for having representation such as what we have in Mr. McMillin on state levels and in the House, because our only chance is to do something in the House.
We've been on the phone to mayors and reps all over the state. We're trying to get this thing killed, and Jud's helping us out through this.
And I will say this, day one of the second half was today. That was one of the main bills that we discussed in some meetings today. I can tell you that there is not much of an appetite, and again, I'm one vote out of 100, but what I can tell you is there's not much of an appetite in the House to pass that bill the way it stands right now. There's a whole bunch of different people that want it changed for different reasons. I am extremely confident that you will not see 528 coming out in the shape that it's in right now. So what that means is we got to be diligent in making sure that as it changes, that we're working hard to make sure it changes in our favor. And I think that it will, Councilwoman Pope. I think it will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Any old business?
I have one, huh? Back, I think it was about February of last year, the council had voted to televise all city meetings, and nothing has ever happened with that.
I was told the council changed their mind. I talked to Mr. Spears last week. Yeah, last week.
When did the council vote to change their mind?
I didn't remember either, but he said he talked to...
You guys...
Because the last time it was brought up, Mr. Votal said Mr. Davis had told him he thought he could get them televised for free, and he's going to check into it, and
that's about where I'm at, Mike.
Well,
so
Mr. Spears told me he bought all the equipment,
Right,
and
and
then was told that we weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
the only thing Mr. Spears told me was he come down here and Mr. Johnson told him that until he had a contract, he couldn't give him anything. Because I'd brought up one time too about, because
Mr. Johnson can't tell him that.
Yeah.
well, we were
No,
supposed to
that's,
pay
you know,
Mr. Spears
yeah.
for the equipment on the
Okay.
initial investment.
But who voted on Mr. Spears? That's the next question.
The board.
No, we didn't vote on Mr. Spears. We voted to televise.
Actually, I said Channel 14 is what I said.
Yeah, we voted to televise.
Well, I
But
think
when
if you go back to the minutes, I said Channel 14. But I'm asking, because the last I knew, Mel was checking about getting it televised for free. I'm asking what's going on with it.
Well,
How long do you check in that tomorrow?
I'll check into it again, but I'll tell you what happened. The FCC used to require cable companies to have a public access channel. And what that means is that any entity within their service territory could have a free program on there. Well, that has kind of gone by the wayside, and I'm still trying to work through Comcast, which is bigger than Russia, to get to the right person to talk to. And as of right now, that's about what I get. So, but I'm still working that way to see if we can get it free. So I don't know anything about the other stuff. So
I got a question. So, just so I'm clear, I know you said that we voted to televise them, and you said Channel 14. But so if we vote to buy some new cars, can I just go out and buy new cars without telling anyone about it? Is my question.
I brought the prices, everything, at the meeting.
No, there was no prices.
Yes, there was.
When we all voted to televise them, we did vote to televise them. But when you do something like that, you get a packet together, you talk to different people and bring it back and say, hey, this is what it's going to cost.
I would suggest getting the minutes from the meeting.
Look into the minutes, and it should go out for quotes. It should have.
Absolutely.
Everything else goes out for quotes. It should too. Any more on old business?
Yeah, we never did formally approve the $500 to the AIM walk.
Yeah.
I entertain a motion.
So I'll say move the donate $500 to the Young Professionals of Greater Dearborn County for their 5K.
I'll second that.
Where from, Aaron? I'm sorry.
Either city marketing.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, ayes have it.
And Amanda has all of our contact information when I spoke to her, so I'll let her know.
Okay.
Any more old business? Hearing any comments from the audience? You want to speak? Come to the podium, please.
I'm Dan Fugate, born and raised here. How many of you guys sit on the grant board?
Which one? 10 County?
Yeah.
I
Two?
preside over it, I don't settle.
Okay. I've been, I've applied for a couple of grants. I've got some money. Applied for a grant last year. Okay. I didn't really apply for a grant the first time. I don't know if anybody knows that or not. I offered 144 acres of my property that adjoins the city of Lawrenceburg, so they can expand if they'd give me a low interest loan. Okay. Cunningham, the last administration was very nice to give me a grant of around $400,000. I did not want that, but I wasn't going to turn it down. So again, I wanted to get a low interest loan so I could keep the bank off my back. I had double the appraisal of my property for the money I needed. I need $2 million. You're going to get $700,000 worth of real estate, okay, for giving me a low interest loan. I was told nobody got low interest loans. That is a lie. There's low interest loans on businesses and stuff right around here. Nobody was interested in me. I wish I had an advocate like Jud McMillin that would have pushed for the grant or the low interest loan. He was supposed to help me. I emailed him I don't know how many times. Never got an answer. Never got an answer until I got real nasty with him. Okay? But it's not about the money. It's about the community. I am now completely shut down. 35 employees left. $1.5 million worth of payroll is gone. I got a building out there sitting, still owing $500,000 to pay the building off. Okay? I've talked to Mayor Carr. You're useless, Grant Hughes. Nobody would call me. Nobody. He wouldn't answer the phone for 15 times. Jane, I know your husband, Toby, I went to school with his sisters. Your mother-in-law was a dear friend of mine. Dale's a dear friend of mine. Aaron, I don't know you. I'm sorry, I haven't done any research. Bill's wife has granted as a babysitter for my grandkids. Okay? Very nice person. Never heard him being mixed up with anything. I know your dad, and I know you personally. grew up with you, went to school with your brothers. Okay? I helped you in an election, and when I did, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought they were going to go with the Democrats. So I went with a Democrat to help with an election, and the prior administration was not backing them, so I didn't even get a consideration. Okay? So there's where this is at. I'm glad I'm out of business now, don't get me wrong, because I'm going to retire, I'm going to have a good time. But this is politics 101. I got this bridge I sell you, and I'm not in for the money. If I can feather my bed while I'm in the election, I'm going to. You guys are having a great opportunity. I think it's the greatest thing in the world that people are held accountable for this grant fund. I think more things need to be done. You already said it. Okay? It was being passed out like water. My banker could not believe all I had to do is come down and say, I want a check. Okay? There's a lot of money went one way, and nobody knows where it went. All you got to do a lot of times is follow the family, follow the politics, and follow the money. You'll find it. The FBI needs to know that. I think that everybody here needs to pull together, quit fighting about each other, or you are going to lose the candy money. Okay? Quit being heroes. I was taught in school to compromise. It seemed like we got 8th graders from time to time sitting on this council, the Board of Works, anything else, and it's not only here, it's from here through the State House all the way to the U.S. Congress and the United States Senate. There's no such thing as do it for the people. It's do it for the lobbyist money, okay, and how much can I get as a campaign contribution. That is what America has come to today, everywhere in the United States. Raise our salaries if we don't get caught. That's fine. Okay? Donate whatever you can to me, any way you can get it. Okay? And yes, I have seen money channeled different ways, just like you said, Mike. I don't know all the details, but I'm going to be semi-retired. If somebody wants me to help them, I will find and get to the bottom of it, because I'm not afraid of kissing. I don't have to kiss anybody's butt anymore and expect a telephone call back, because I don't need the money. The 50 people that I employed needed their work. I do feel sorry for them. And you had 144 acres that was adjacent. It could have been, and I explained this to the people. Could have been developed.
Who'd you explain it to?
It's in the grant It's in the grant.
I've never.
Yeah, you ain't involved. I don't think that you probably, Jane knowed, Bill knowed, the people who went on the grant program. I don't even know my grant got put in front of anybody.
I was unaware of it. If there was 144 acres out there that you were willing to turn over to the city of Lawrenceburg, we've been begging for land.
He never even called me back on it.
I turn it over to the grant committee.
You turned it over, you're the boss.
I turn it over to the man that handles the grant committee.
Yeah, he's worthless.
Well, that's your opinion.
Good. But I knew you guys, I knew you did, and I knew some of the council people hadn't seen the grant application. I don't even know if the grant application went through the grant.
Doug would know.
So.
You never seen a grant application, Graham?
What year was it? Was that?
It's last year.
Well,
yeah. Like I said, I know all the people. I know his dad, hung around his garage. I'm from here. I even had the daggone pleasure of getting a free room and board at the New Right Hotel right with Doug. Okay? I'm just a common guy. I can't bullshit. I can't promise you bridges. You know, I can't promise you all this stuff. I come and tell the truth and try to help the community, and that's what I got.
Well, I'm glad you informed us.
And any questions you need, I'll answer.
Any more from the audience? Ain't none, moving on. Review and discuss claims for board approval.
Mayor, Your Honor, Mr. Augman, I move that we discuss all claims except for the Hollywood claim of $425,000.
You mean approve all claims?
Approve. I'm
Not
sorry.
discuss.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Approve all claims until I can consult with Leslie as our city attorney and until I can consult with Barnes and Thornburg, Nick Kyle.
I second it.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
So just the one for the 425, right, Jane?
Right.
Okay, we can mail the rest out.
That check hasn't been mailed, has it?
No, it's right
No, I
here.
said we can mail the rest of it.
No.
We pulled it that day. That's what I said when you were gonna sign the report. We've already pulled that check. Jackie has.
I've got it right here.
Okay, need a roll call vote, please.
Okay, wait a minute. Jane, yes.
Yes.
Okay, Aaron?
No.
Bill?
No.
Mike?
Yes.
Okay, I meant. And Doug?
Yes.
Okay.
Ayes
Yes, yeah, ayes have it.
And Mr. Augman, after the meeting, I'd like to talk to you if you had a moment.
Motion adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Morning, Jack.
Okay. Okay, oh, no, okay.
Jane Pope. No, not related, no Johns.
Okay. I will see you when we get back. Okay? Mario has the paperwork as long as you have your credit.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay, thank you. I'll call you.
Yes, dear. Oh.
It's pronounced like it looks, but it's like comment.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I never knew how to type it or anything.